Olá. Desculpe, falo pouco português. Teremos de continuar em inglês. So, sorry, that's the last time I will butcher your language for today. And let me just get my talk up here. Tech gremlins today. Oh. Sorry, one moment. Tech demos. This is why I won't be doing this live. I'll be doing it as a recording. So let me tell you first about why you should listen to me. Some of you have heard of AI. It's a recent technology. Last couple of years, big thing. You must have heard of it. But actually, I did my final year project on neural networks, and I am not, you'll be amazed to hear, 30 years old. That was 1992, and the technology has not changed a great deal since then. Sorry, I don't know why this isn't. Can somebody in the tech team give us a hand? It's coming up on. Yes, this is my presentation here.
While we're waiting, so Tom, tell us about the idea of building this live demo. What was the idea behind it?
So the use case for this is a company that has documents, proprietary documents they don't want to put on the web and have everybody see, but who they do want to distribute to a small number of people, a limited number of people. That could be an insurance company who has policy documents that they want to distribute an AI expert to their insured parties. It could be, let's say, a HR department internally to a company who wants to distribute the HR documents to the internal staff only. So the staff can ask questions like, in 5 years' time, how many days holidays would I have? Or, I'm being sexually harassed by a coworker. What are my options? Because maybe they don't want to go to a line manager. Maybe it's the line manager who's the problem. Maybe they don't want to go to HR and ask somebody directly, but they want to know, well, what am I supposed to do in this instance? So there are lots of different cases for this. And the use case I'm going to use for you today is an Algarve Tech conference has documents that they would like to distribute to all the people who are going to attend so that they know things like, where are the toilets? What's for dinner? What are the opening times? When is that person speaking? So I'm going to show you live, hopefully, how we do that.
Yeah.
Okay?
I think we are, yeah.
I think we're good.
Yeah, thank you.
So Antonio messages me and says, Tom, we're having a tech conference. Will you give a talk? And I said, new number, who dis? I said, yeah, okay. He said, you have to teach these business people how to get value out of AI today in a business context, no technical stuff, for less than $20 a month. I said, great, no problem. I'll show them how to reconfigure ChatGPT vertically with their own private documents. How long do I have? And he said, 15 minutes. So buckle up, people, because we're going to be skipping some details here, all right? So, what are the options? What sort of things can you do if you have this problem, this business desire, and you want to achieve that? So, retraining ChatGPTs, or retraining GPTs in general. You can create your own GPT, a custom app, load up your documents, and then ask it questions. You can publish it. This is the option we're going to be showing today. This is the most straightforward and probably the one that covers 95% of your possible use cases. So this is the one you should pay attention to. For completion, there are several other options. Retrieval augmented generation. So this is called RAG. This is where you have a large number of documents, say a whole library, and you want to teach your AI how to write books. So you're not asking it specific questions about a book. You're hoping that it generally learns to do this function. Fine-tuning is when you give it a bunch of prompts and a bunch of sample answers that you would have written had you been asked that as a human, and you want the AI to learn the tone. So if this is very good for brands, for companies who are interacting with the public and who want to be very controlling on what sort of tone their AI is adopting to them. You don't want your AI swearing or being rude or unfriendly if you're, say, Nike or Chanel No. 5. And the final one is the full-fat instantiate a copy of GPT in your own private Azure. You then feed it all your documents in a private secured area, and you're able to talk to it directly through APIs. So you're able to program your corporate custom programming and your corporate applications to talk directly to the AI, get a response back, and include that response in your general application. So for the moment, what we're looking for is a custom GPT that takes an Algarve Tech Conference's documents and allows you to ask questions about it. Now, I'm not going to try and switch out of it, but I have the documents written, and you'll see them during the video. So you'll have to excuse me as well because I wrote this quite late at night and my typing was appalling. So you start off by going to GPT, you go create, and you pull up a prompt. So this is the prompt I'm going to use to create this GPT. I'm just asking it, hey, this GPT acts as an expert information assistant for visitors attending the Algarve Tech Conference. Apologies if you're from the Lagos Council, but I wrote this about Algarve because that's where we did this last year. So I just tell it, hey, be concise about your answers, include schedules, speaker details, etc. I'll upload the files for you during the process. Okay? So here I'm going to supply 3 documents. One is a speaker list, one is a terms and conditions, and one is a general information, toilets, dinner schedules, etc. So it says, okay, great. What do you want to do? So that's it, that's all. So it says, I'll generate a profile picture for you, which it then fails because OpenAI, trillion-dollar company, apparently can't make its own AI talk to itself. But it passes on anyhow. So I upload the documentation, press go. Takes a moment. And it'll update the GPT. So you'll see on the top left, we have create and configure. I'm creating at the moment. When you want to configure it, you want to change a couple of internal details to it. So it asks me, hey, how do you want me to be? Professional, polite, warm, friendly? I said professional and friendly. So I'm just asking it, hey, just be cool. So it updates itself. Which is great. Okay, so you can test it out. I want to configure it though. So I want to change anything that we need to change about the prompt, the documents that I've uploaded, web search, etc. Down the bottom, hidden away under additional settings, you'll notice right down there, it's already closed. There's a tick box that says use this to improve our own. You don't want that. So when you're ready, and this is now ready, we go over to create in the top right. And I say only me, or everybody with the link, or the general public. So I say only me. I don't want this being public in case somebody starts booking flights. So it takes a moment again, gives me a link, I can view it, and then I get rid of that. So this is the GPT, it's ready to go. So now I want to ask it some questions just to prove that I've actually done that. So this is where my typing is very poor. If you look down the bottom right, you'll see this is 11 o'clock at night and I've had a few drinks. So what is for dinner and what's for dessert? So you can tell that that's dear to my heart. So is there a vegetarian option? Because I wanted to show that it's analyzed the food options and it can answer questions like, is there a vegetarian option? So yeah, it's determined that there is a vegetarian option in the documentation that I showed. So I also wanted to be able to direct me to things. So where are the male toilets? So specifically the male toilets, or the unisex toilets, or the female toilets. Now here is one of the documents, and you can see, I'll just stop it there. You can see that right in the middle, there's a gentleman who I've made up called Marco Klein, who's a cloud infrastructure specialist at AWS. He doesn't exist. But I wanted to ask this in reverse. So if I ask the AI, is there a cloud specialist? I wanted to be able to tell me that Marco Klein is speaking. So that you show that it's ingesting the information and understanding it, not just repeating back. Don't laugh at my typing. So there, yes, Marco Klein, a cloud infrastructure specialist, AWS, is speaking today. Okay. So I also said in the terms and conditions that 16-year-olds and below had to be accompanied. So I wanted to ask the question to say, my 15-year-old son, who's very well behaved, can attend on his own. I want to show that the AI can do a certain amount of logical reasoning, that it can say 15 is less than 16 and say no. Unfortunately, he can't. He has to be accompanied by a guardian. So that is the end of the live demo. The business case for this is for anyone who has documentation who they don't want lots of questions coming to them or their staff, that they'd rather the people were able to go and get their own information. So be that a tech conference where everybody could have had this on their phones and be able to say, hey, what's for lunch? What time is lunch? Where are the toilets? How, when is this person speaking? When is that person speaking? You could also have this internally in a company for HR reasons, as I said. You could have it for policy documentation. So if you have, I've used it, in fact, for myself. I recently learned to drive. I'm trying to get my license in Portugal, and I've just passed my technical test. I had an AI with all of the documentation for the rules of the road in Portugal loaded up, and had it ask me questions and I give it answers, or I ask it questions and it gives me answers. So this is for anybody who in 15 minutes, as you can see, and are we still good, Linda? I don't want to run over time. Linda's a very nice woman, but God, you don't want to annoy her on timekeeping. We're still good. So this is for anybody who wants to quickly use AI now, today, to employ it, publish it to themselves, to their group, to the worldwide, for documents that you want people to be able to understand that maybe ChatGPT hasn't seen. So that's it. Thank you for your time. I am Tom Murphy. There's my contact details. I do AI consultation for large companies and small startup mentoring and pitch practicing. Thank you for your attention.